Right, Dalish camp, here we come. I've got the scarf to give back to the husband of the werewolf that got turned. And then I've got to somehow explain to the fact that these guys are leaderless.
The essence of the wolf's heart has banished all traces of cursed blood from the hunters. It is too bad that Zathrian had to die. I felt it when he departed. I think he was ready to go.
He was a wee bit old. Sure, he was a hero.
It will be difficult to fill Zathrian's shoes. He was our keeper for many centuries, and he will be sorely missed. But I am keeper now. Let me say it officially then. I hereby swear to uphold the terms of the ancient contract our people formed with the Grey Wardens.
Good lads.
Call, and we shall come, with great speed and purpose, and we shall strike at your foes. This I swear.
Thank you, Lana. I'm just going to call you Lana because I don't know how to say that name. Thank you.
It has been a long time since the Dalish marched to war, but I trust that in the end, we shall make a difference for you.
I really hope you do, because we're going to need it. Can I take stuff from this chest now? Yes, I can take a songbook. No, I can't. Shit. Right. Hi.
So the hunters were cured, but not in time for my Delilah.
He knows. Yeah, I'm sorry. I found Delilah. She gave me the scarf.
By the creators. Delilah's scarf. Zathrian said she was killed by the same curse plaguing the others. Where is she now?
She died afterwards, but not before she sent her love.
She told you that? Yes. That is what she would do. At least she is at peace. Here, take this amulet. I hope it is worth something to you as a reward. Now I should go and make arrangements. I must mourn my wife as is proper. Dareth Shira, fare you well.
Morgan disapproves. What do you mean why do you disapprove? I just gave back a scarf, Morgan.
You were the Grey Warden who broke the curse.
Uh-oh.
I demand to know what happened to the werewolves. Where did they go?
Well, the werewolves, they're not exactly werewolves anymore, you know, they're kind of human.
That makes no difference. Those monsters killed my husband. They killed so many of my people. They have Dalish blood on their hands. If they are human once more, that shall make it all the easier to take vengeance for their crimes. Tell me where they are!
Elves, why do you have to be so vengeful? Zephyrin wanted vengeance too. Look what it did to him.
It destroyed him. Yes, perhaps you speak wisely. If they are gone and never return here, then perhaps it is better to let it simply end there. We will go back to the camp, then. Thank you for your words. Please accept this small token of my gratitude. It belonged to my husband, and I cannot carry it any longer.
You. That saved us potentially having to slaughter a few elves. Yay. Wait, why are my heroes trying to... Oh, I was trying to get back to the camp, the world map. I want to get back to camp. Can I, like, rest in my bloody tent yet? Apparently not. Oh! Yay, we have our mages, we have our Ferelden people, we have the elves. We just need the dwarves and then we're set. Bit by bit. For now, let's say hi. Loki, my darling Mabari. You adorable thing.
Something on your mind?
Has anyone ever told you how handsome you are? Do I actually want to romance Alistair? I mean, kind of want to romance Sten. Is that bad? Hang on, Alistair. I want to say... I just want to say hi to Sten.
You called.
Hi. I want to discuss something you mentioned. I think you should lead. I have a question.
I am hardly surprised. To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Don't the Kunari ever want to change their lot in life? Is there anything you like? Anything at all that you like in Ferelden? Anything?
There is interesting food here. You have a thing. It doesn't have a word in the Kunari tongue. Little baked things like bread, but sweet and crumbly.
Cookies?
Yes, we have no such things in our lands. This should be remedied.
Yes, it should be remedied, Sten, instantly. 100% yes, I remedy that by taking some with you. Cookies are a win. Absolutely. I don't know who to bloody romance. It's like, there's a lot that you can get from romancing Alistair, but there's... I swear everyone romances Alistair. In general. And I killed the bloody elf, so... What other options have I got? Sten is Kunari. Yeah, you sound a bit homesick.
Perhaps. It's strange to be in a crowd and hear a language that is not your own. To see faces that are and aren't like yours. I miss the smells of Saharon. Tea and incense and the sea. Ferelden smells of wet dogs.
Dogs? Not by any chance Loki? Loki might need a bath. Win? You're slacking on the bathing of, poor little Loki. Dogs don't smell that bad. You left out rotting garbage. Don't ignore everyone. I want to... Dogs... Yeah, dogs don't, smell that bad.
Skunks don't mind the smell of other skunks either. Shall we move on?
Good point. Don't the Kunari ever want to change their lot in life?
What does that accomplish? The farmer who buys a shop is never a merchant. He is always a farmer turned merchant. He carries his old life with him as a turtle carries its shell.
Maybe he was meant to be a merchant, but that makes the turtle stronger. That does, in any sense, make them stronger.
Does it? It's also his weakness. If he stumbles and falls over, it pins him on his back. It is better to armor yourself with no more than what you need. One life, one duty.
This guy and his metaphors. Easy, pal. Easy there, Sten. Easy. Sten's brilliant. I love him. You don't think happiness is important? Duty can be forgotten. Oh my god, do not say that to him. I suppose that's true. But yes, don't you think happiness is also important?
You can learn to find it in doing your duty, in serving your people. There is no need to search for it.
He has
Shall
a
we
point
move
there
on?
too. Damn it! I'm losing. Damn it! I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
Ah, shit.
Then I suggest we move on.
Do I not have
I am
anything else to
hardly
ask?
surprised.
No! I
Very
ran out
well.
of things to ask him. Damn it! No. Shit. Let's go.
As you wish.
But hey, I have STEN approval plus 5. What is his general approval? I've nearly got him to max. I've nearly got him to max. Hold on, I have gifts. I have a lot of bloody gifts. I want to get him to max. I don't know which gifts are even good for STEM. So, time to do the wiki. I've got my phone. I'm going to do the wiki on my phone. Sten has a preference for painting. Sten will not automatically equip Asala. If you want to use this sword, you will have to equip it on him yourself. Oh, okay. I ain't got that sword yet. So he likes paintings. Have I got any paintings? Fancy scroll. That's a book. Water-stained portrait. Does that count? It does! Have it.
Unexpected. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that really all he likes? Did not just have the scare of my life. Hi, Morgan.
I await your command.
I might go and try and kill your mother again. Might go horribly wrong. I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind.
So, full of questions, are you?
Just a few. Katie, do others to become shape changers? Did you grow up in the Kakari Wilds? Have you ever been hunted by the chart? It's a question to ask.
My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Fun? You found it fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Flemeth used you as bait.
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Don't you regret hurting any of those men at all? I'm not asking that. She doesn't regret it at all. What exactly is an apostate?
You do not know? The Zealots use that word for any magic they do not control. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates, and apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true, still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
Have you no responsibility to those around you? If I was a mage, I might think the same. Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Oh, I hope you are not simply being agreeable. It would be a refreshing change. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand. I await your command.
Anything else I can ask? I'd like to discuss something personal.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Why are you still here?
Because I need your help with my mother, of course. Why else? Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
No, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave. I thought we were friends? I've got... Yeah.
Are we? Then why do you ask such a question?
No, I've got a -6! No! Shit! No, that is a lot. -6 is a lot to lose. Hold on, I'm just gonna, like, reboot. I'm sorry! How dare you imply Morgan has friends? She totally has me as a friend. As much as I'm not a mate. Is that... I think that's everything else. Right.
We are in camp,
Personal.
so 'tis as good a time as any.
Why are you still here? Nope, leave that. Don't press that button. That
I
button's
await
cursed.
your command.
I'd like to ask you
So, full of questions, are you?
Did you grow up? I swear I've asked
Why do
this
you
of
ask
her.
me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
No, but I'm just kind of curious. Is that okay? It's my favorite way of annoying you. You could if you wanted to, though.
Oh, what luck. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained unnoticed, but you kept going back to the wilds?
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds I hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
You must have looked quite the fool. Very daring, that sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be travelling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
I'm supposed to be surprised you're a good liar? That was quick thinking. That was quick thinking. What happened to the poor man?
Who cares? As I recall, he was executed. What? The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
You mean like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Glad it worked out this way, at least. Yeah.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Yes. We got a +2 on Morgan. Okay. I will go and kill your mother. Don't worry, Morgan. I will. Alistair, I'm sure, wants to romance us.
Something on your mind?
Has anyone ever told you how handsome you are? Yeah, he wants to romance us. I'm not gonna press that button.
I was just thinking about what happened to the elves, and I'm reminded of a song sung to me many years ago. It was when my mother died, and this wise elven woman comforted me and told me that we shouldn't fear death or hate it. Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free.
So this is comforting. What did she say? Death is just another beginning. One day we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free. That is comforting. But I, for one, am very much in no hurry to let my spirit flee.
It's a beautiful sentiment, I think. One that brings peace and hope to the grieving.
Are you gonna sing? Loki approves. Morgan is like, why is she singing? STEN seems to approve of the song, apparently. Alright. I'm gonna speak to Wynne.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Well, there was Connor.
Ah, yes, Connor, of course. The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
Yeah, she is a great mage.
Every mage is vulnerable, no matter how accomplished or powerful. That is the first thing we learn, and overconfidence can lead to recklessness. One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
Just charging me phone. If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination. We cannot let them be simply because they might get better. Well, why do you care so much about this anyway? No, if one retains one's immunity, then yeah, they wouldn't be an abomination in some sense.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
You're welcome.
So, tell me, how did you become a Grey Warden?
The short story? I met Duncan and he liked me? All how massacred my family, Duncan helped me escape. Yeah. I kind of have a bit of a grudge against All How.
Arl Rendon Howe? The Arl of Amaranthine? Why would he do such a thing to you?
Yeah, that's true. He had always been a friend of the Cousins.
You are the last of the Couslands? I had no idea. My lady?
Oh, please, spare me the pleasantries. Win, please. Wait, you are the last of the Cousins? I have no idea. Don't, I'm just a Grey Warden now. How will pay for what he's done to me? That's true. I always took my family. A Cousland, and now nothing. No, Hal will most certainly pay for what he's done to me.
Do not be blinded by your desire for revenge. Rendon Howe will get what he deserves in time. Such deeds cannot go unpunished. Take heart, dear friend. You survived, even when you were not expected to. We do not know yet what lies in store for you, or the name you carry. It is not so bad, is it, being a Grey Warden?
I'd give it up if it meant I could see my family again. Oh, I bet she probably would. We still need to find our bloody brother. Fergus is somewhere. Presumably in the Kakari Wilds. I would do my duty, but I won't. I don't know what one to do. 2 or 1 or 3. I guess with my girl, her heart would be, I wish I could see my family again. But she's not about to forget what Hal did, so yeah, she will do her duty, but she won't forget what Hal did.
Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be.
Wynne, you are amazing, by the way.
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you?
But no, yeah, it means I've been chosen to do something important.
There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing Darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men.
You mean to say I serve as a protector?
As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men, and you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they.
No, I keep that in mind. I suppose that makes sense. I wish I could be served as a No, my girl's not that kind of a noble. I keep that in mind.
A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant.
Agreed. Yeah, no. My girl doesn't want power.
If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome.
Win, I think you could lecture us all day and I would still be smiling.
What's on your mind?
Alright then, okay. Are you feeling better now? Oh yeah, she wasn't feeling great before, was she?
Yes, and thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better today.
Good. Suppose you were just tired then, like you said? Yeah, please let me know if there's anything I can do.
Well, thank you for your kindness, my dear. It certainly warms these rickety old bones. What's on your mind?
I was just thinking about being a Grey Warden. I'd like to ask something about the circle? No. Thinking about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
I don't know, it's just difficult sometimes. Everyone expects so much from me. Sometimes I wish I could go back to my old life. It's the best thing that happened to me. I don't know, sometimes it's just a bit difficult.
You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
Ready when the time comes. I don't give up easily. Yeah, I don't give up that easily.
And that gives me hope.
We're getting all of the +2s for win at the moment.
Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
No, I don't even think Alistair does. I know they were more respected in the old days. In old tales. I know they soared through the skies on griffins. No, I know they were more respected in old days.
It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
Does the story have griffins in it? Yeah, no, does the story have griffins in it?
Maker's mercy, it's like talking to a child.
You're old enough to be my grandmother. So, does it have griffins in it, or...?
Yes, there are griffins in this story.
Yay!
The blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men.
Griffins?
Yes, griffins. Now listen to the rest of the story. The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead, and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice. The Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
I like happy endings. When exactly did this happen?
This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
Thank you, Win, for the story of the Griffins. I had to. I just had to. Right, what else is there?
What's on your mind?
As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
Wow. Blunt much? I could try, but it wouldn't work. But I don't think I was ever meant to be normal, no. I already knew the answer, don't know why I asked. I don't think I was ever meant to be normal.
I don't think so either. You would not have been happy living a dull, uneventful life, dying in obscurity. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
Maybe a little bit.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Doesn't offer much of either. You must have come to terms with your life eventually. Did you find anything?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
No, I think she was right. Plus my girl is somewhat religious, not entirely.
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
All this sappy nonsense is going to make me throw up. Wow. I suppose priests have to give up a lot too, but priests have to choose to be priests. Mages don't. That's true, but I suppose priests do have much to give up to.
The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
That doesn't sound healthy though.
It isn't healthy to throw yourself at a pack of Darkspawn either in order to save the world. So I'd say you're in no position to judge. You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden. Or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
I'd like to ask something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Why didn't you want to stay at the tower?
The circle is in good hands. Irving knows what to do, and he doesn't need me underfoot. For now, I will support those that battle the Darkspawn. I do feel I left things unfinished in Ostagar. There is so much left to do, and I would be part of it.
I'm surprised she survived Ostagar, actually. Like, how did she get out of that? But I'm glad for your company. Just do as I say. I am the Grey Warden here. No, but you left the children.
Yes, I did leave them. But if the blight is not stopped, all of them will face suffering greater than what was seen in the tower. The Grey Wardens, all 2 of you, need all the help you can get. I will see this through to the bitter end, and after that, if I am still left standing, then I will return to the circle.
I wanted to make sure you really wanted this, yeah.
No, of course I don't. I'm old and unsure of what I'm doing. Actually, I'd rather be in a warm chair in the sun, being served pudding or some other easily digestible food.
You didn't kind of mean it that way.
I know. I was just teasing. The ability to laugh at myself is something I developed too late in life. But to allay your fears, yes, I am sure this is what I want.
Yay! Ow! Ow.
What's on your mind?
I whacked the bloody table. Right. Anything I've left out?
I will answer to the best of my ability.
How did you become a mage?
People don't become mages. They are born mages. The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the Circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then.
What about your family?
I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm. I was found, and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray, and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it happened, but one day, he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby.
She set his hair on fire. Serves him right, was he, Siri? He was lucky. I would have done much worse to him.
And you would have seen yourself trussed up like a festival turkey and paraded about the square for it. Village folk have little love for witches like us. Thankfully, all I had to endure was a few nights locked in a cold barn with a bowl of water and a crust of bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later.
What happened when you arrived at the tower? What a terrible experience for a child. Actually, no. Were the Templars cruel?
One of them ignored me, but the other was kind to me. He gave me sweets and even sat me on his shoulders once when I wanted to look over a high wall that ran along the road. I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life. I stopped being afraid then. I knew I was home.
Aww. Little did you know it was just a prettied up prison. Oh, that's a great story.
Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the Circle.
What was life like in the tower?
I would be lying if I said it was easy. First, there were rules, and we were constantly watched to make sure we behaved appropriately. Then there was the study of magic. We had to cast the spells just so, control the effects completely. A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, meant lack of focus. And we needed to have perfect focus, or we would be in danger.
A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, danger. They still learn the dangers of magic from the Circle. That sounds horrible.
It may seem that way sometimes, but it was the best thing for me. I was given the opportunity to develop my skills, to learn. And there was joy in life at the Circle. The joys of fellowship, in knowing that you were not alone in your struggles. In spite of everything, I was happy in the tower, and I loved it.
Nothing else I wish to discuss now. We're done! Win's done! Win, I can tell you now, we all love you. Right.